But I do want to tell you guys who are listening that like doing internships in not only like different fields, so mine was like biotech, fintech, and then like entertainment, but like trying out different roles. I like did UX UI internship at Bank of America, full stack engineer slash PM, so like product manager internship at the women's health tech startup, and then at Disney I did mobile, which is what I did now. Like doing those different things and trying things out is what really helped me personally, like figure out like what size of the company, what type of company I want to work for, and like even within the teams, what kind of teams do I do better on? Because I was on a team where I had one teammate, and now my team here at Disney, like specifically Android, there's like three of us total. So that kind of helped me like shape what I was looking for in a career, which I really enjoyed. Because the nice thing about internships is that they're very like focused and you have something to do, but they're also short term. So it kind of, like you could figure out if you want to come back or where you want to go from there. And like through those internships, you network, you talk to people about their experiences. Doing that was really helpful for me. So like back to this topic of me at Middlebury College and like trying to figure out how to get my foot into the like industry, even though coming from a small and like most people don't even know about the school. Another thing I did was going to conferences. So I was fortunate enough where my school knew that we were like a small school where they were like, we want to support your interests, and if we can't do it on campus, we'll like find funding to send you. So had the opportunity to attend conferences. Like I've attended the Grace Hopper celebration, but I've also attended like specific ones like Google I/O. And it's actually funny because I still attend those now, and like getting involved in conferences and like participating in those helped me realize I want to like maybe in the future, once I do know more things, I want to speak at conferences or at least attend as many as I can, because I know I personally learned a lot from there. And in terms of like other ways I actually figured out what I liked and like I guess got into the tech industry it's actually funny, like Twitter has like this big like I guess tech community there where a lot of engineers are on Twitter, whether it's like talking about new products, talking about like new technologies, and like people who work at specific companies. Like there's this joke where on Twitter, everyone's like Twitter bio is kind of like their mini resume, which is true because you see people saying like, oh, engineer at blank kind of thing. So talking like, and a lot of people on Twitter on top of that are really like open to people reaching out to them. Like they have their DMs open if people have questions about their experiences on a specific role or at a specific company. So that's actually something that helped me like also figure out like I guess where I wanted to go in my career, and like hearing from other people's experiences was really helpful. And in terms of like specific roles, so like Disney's like I can't really like I guess explain my day to day just because Disney, like many other like companies, we like sign an NDA and we can't really share. But I do work under that general Disney streaming business, which is honestly I think pretty cool, especially being out of college and just like jumping onto a team where we're working on like one of the biggest things that people are talking about. It's so funny because like friends and family tell me about like bugs they found, and I'm like, that's on the website, but I work on the mobile phone, so like if you do have bugs there, I'm more than happy to like try to address those in the future. But it's very like similar to I guess other tech companies because I've had experiences and I've like I mentioned, I've talked to people, but a lot of the way it works is like it's agile. So there's like scrums, there's sprints, and it keeps it like super fast. And I personally like that a lot just because like sprints are like typically 2 weeks each, and it like that has like I guess in my work it's like constantly changing. It's never really the same thing. And in terms of changes in my career path, so it's actually funny because when I saw this question, I was like, well, I guess like in college I had a lot of changes because I tried different internships. So I started thinking about like, okay, what's something in the future that I would be interested in. And I was actually talking with an old coworker, and they were talking about their experiences in startups. So like I'm under corporate, which is super different than working in startups. I know this because I've heard experiences like on Twitter and talked to my friends. And I think doing a startup or even a smaller company, because like Disney has so many segments and is so big, has so many teams, I think that would be interesting. But since I'm at Disney now and I really enjoy it so far, like that's a future thing. It's actually funny because I'm not just involved in like, I guess some people, including me, when I was in school, I was like, do I want to be in front of computer coding 40 hours a week? Just because I was like, like I want to try other things. In my specific team, it's really cool because I guess they know a lot of people want to constantly be learning. So they host like different tech talks and like different speakers from other areas. And because Disney is so big, there like like there are so many ranges. And I think actually something that's unique about Disney is because we're not like just a tech company. Like I've attended I've attended talks on like animation, like things completely unrelated to my job, but things that were interesting to me. And through those, that's also how I've been like networking and meeting other people who work in completely different areas, like strategy on like Disney Channel. So that's something that I've been doing in my work. And another thing I do like doing, which probably you can tell because I'm here right now, is I like talking to people about my experiences. Specifically, I'm very passionate about like women in tech groups, but also like any general like underrepresented minorities, just because that's like as one myself, I think it's important to like show people like when I was in it was funny because I got into coding originally through Girls Who Code like 6 years ago when it was one of the first programs. And the way I like even realized Disney was like doing tech, because it's not something I really thought about, is we had a speaker from Pixar come to our Girls Who Code class and talk to us about like the tech they do on Pixar movies. And I'm just like, wait, like this is cool. Like it doesn't have to just be like on a website or on a phone. It could be like in other areas. So that's kind of how I help. That kind of even like put that idea that, oh, you can be at Disney or an art company or any kind of company and still be doing tech there, which is one of the things I find really cool about technology in general. Yeah, so that's why I like to do that now, especially because I like talking about like how I got to where I am, because I feel like it's not as similar to other computer science college students where they like were like in computer or engineering and they had like a big career network at their college. Not that my colleges didn't, but it was like, other schools are more focused on tech. So that's been something that I think helped me in the long run. So in terms of how to stand out as a candidate, I spoke briefly to it. At Disney. Is every team is team by team case. The standard is like, especially for internships, is like one page having your related classes, related work experiences. And with work experiences, it's always good having metrics. Even like, for example, me, if I were to like, I'm thinking about my resume and I'm like, okay, like what's a metric I can put? Well, specifically for the Movies Anywhere Android application, it has 2 million downloads, which is like, to recruiters that like really stands out more. And something I've noticed, because I do resume reviews and I'm more than happy to like, if anyone's here and is interested in having me check out their resume, I'm more than happy to do that. Something that I notice a lot of computer science students especially don't do is they put like their technical skills in like a list, whether it's like JavaScript, Java, Python. Something I like remind people is like it's important to put the different levels. So that's also open to interpretation. So it can be like beginner, intermediate, advanced. But that really helps because it's also good to like put languages that you just started with and that you're exploring, because that also shows that you're like taking initiative to just learn on your own and doing side projects. And when you do add work experiences and side projects on your resume, it's always helpful to put the specific languages. And I could bring light to this because I'm thinking, for example, on Android, there's two big languages that we use, Java and Kotlin, but Kotlin is a more recent one, so not that many Android developers like know it. So putting that on, if you do know Kotlin and you do put it on your resume, that really makes you like stand out, because a lot of companies are now looking for Android